All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Just taking a quick scan to see that all headsets are in. So today we're going to be chatting about optimizing for AI, how to stay discoverable in this new era that is also still evolving, but we'll get there. My name is Kathy Tamargo. I'm Senior Director of FinServe Growth. And today I'm going to be chatting with you guys about the disruption that we're seeing, getting a little bit into the opportunity, and then diving into the playbook, next steps. So I do have a few caveats. What we talk about today might change tomorrow, but that's okay. I don't think we should wait for things to settle to make decisions and start thinking about how to tackle this, very large opportunity that we're all facing. I've pared the content down so that it actually aligns with a lot of what we're already doing. We're just leaning into it a little bit more and leveraging some of the pieces as more focal points versus support, like we've done in the past. And so we should be able to implement and unlock all of these things ahead of Q4. So that's also a lot of why I wanted to talk about this, because as we all know, it's Q4. So I want to make sure that we're all prepared and thinking about how others are thinking about things and ensuring that some of the tactics that we should be exploring are already incorporated into your Q4 strategies. So with that, let's get into the disruption. So I'm sure you've seen this a million times during this conference. 69% of searches are now ending without a click, and that is up from 56% last year. Organic traffic is declining, and users are getting answers directly from these platforms, these LLMs. Personally, today, I even toyed with having ChatGPT give this presentation, but it's a little crazy. I didn't trust her fully yet. Mine is a her, just so we're clear. And these trends are only expected to continue to grow. We're expecting to see steady but significant growth over the next couple of years. And as you guys know, some of these platforms, they're pretty new, with a lot of them fully launching in 2023. It's 2025, and this is top of mind for literally everyone in the room. So it's important that we take these trends and begin incorporating them into our strategies today, first and foremost, so that we're not reacting to things that have happened and are proactively planning for changes. This new discovery ecosystem. So like I said, ChatGPT, we also have Google evolving both in the Gemini space as well as overview space. These conversational queries are really where individuals are heading to find answers directly, so that they're not having to scour the internet, all of those links and publisher information and influencer information to then arrive at their own informed decision. This is all happening now in platform, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We're also seeing that a lot of the conversions that are happening within these AI ecosystems are converting at a higher rate. So it's not disruption, it's opportunity that we should really be leaning into. The other piece I forgot to mention at the top, the other caveat is the purpose of our conversation today isn't to overhaul what we're already doing as marketers, but to just incorporate a lot of the trends that we're seeing and lean into the things that we're already doing so that we can yield the results that we're hoping for and remain competitive. How AI is choosing winners. Please remember this, these 4 things. EAT, because I'll talk about it later. So experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. These are things that we've chatted about throughout the conference these past 2 days, and these are things that publishers are delivering today. This is why we're working with publishers or trusted sources. A lot of our products that we're selling require consultation and research, and publishers are where consumers are turning to get that research and information so that they can make informed decisions. So again, getting cited is slowly becoming that new number one ranking. Did you get cited? As you know, users are going in and asking questions, did you come up? That's the new number one signal. So now let's jump into the opportunity. Like I said, we're already kind of doing a lot of these things as far as content. There was a study published by Forrester in 2023, so again, a couple of years ago, where half of affiliate marketers were already investing in upper funnel tactics. So that's not new, we're already doing this. Let's now understand how these investments are surfacing and shaping consumer decisions so that we can almost double down in addition to these performance conversion tactics that we can't lose sight of, because that it's not going to go away tomorrow, and we want to make sure that we're everywhere that consumers are looking so that we're not missing that opportunity. So again, pieces that are being surfaced today: listicles, content reviews, gift guides, Q&As. Do these sound familiar? Because they're all a part of all of our media plans that we work on. So affiliate is at the center of all of this, and again, it's about leaning into that and understanding what's working so that we can make the most of those relationships and just shift in consumer behavior. So let's rethink this entire evolution. This is not a threat. This is a huge opportunity, especially right now as things are evolving. So like I said, what we talk about today might change a little bit tomorrow, but that's okay. So long as we're acting today, you're then a first mover. And we all know what happens with first movers. They realize the most returns. So let's lean into these comprehensive reviews with these publishers that focus on that. Let's lean into these multi-product comparisons. Let's lean into solution-focused content built out to educate consumers and user-generated authenticity. The one piece that isn't talked about specifically or called out specifically in this deck is influencer, and the role that influencer also plays in this. They're also a trusted source. So we want to make sure that all of our strategies are sort of like leading that consumer down to that conversion and not forgetting about one or the other. So this new success metric that we're beginning to look at, generative engine optimization. I've heard so many this conference alone. Answer engine optimization, AI overview optimization. There's some visibility, AI visibility optimization. It was like AIVO. There are so many, but it is the new metric that we're all looking at and thinking about. So it's important that we're, like I said, taking a step back to try to understand what it is that's yielding these outcomes and results and getting your brands surfaced, whether you're an advertiser or a publisher. Some of these things include, let's mess around with ChatGPT and Perplexity. Let's plug a couple questions in and see how you're coming up. Let's see how your competitors are coming up. Let's see which sources are being cited so that we can then lean into those. And as you do those deep dives, you'll see that a lot of those sources are already in your programs and you're already working with them. So it's a matter of understanding which opportunities you can lean into that you're not already leaning into. Again, connected content wins. The other piece that I want to make sure we're thinking about is working together across channels. A lot of these pieces are going to fall on our SEO teams, honestly. So it's important that we remain connected to their findings, their evolution, the search teams, their findings, their evolutions, and are bringing those learnings into affiliate so that we're doing things with intention and strategically. So that, again, we can turn this into a drinking game. This is being recorded. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. We're just maximizing our returns. That's really what we're aiming to do. Success in action. There are a couple of you in here that are already doing some of these pieces, have already been leaning into this content, leaning into diverse publisher programs. These brands are already winning. So like I said, you go in, you do the search, you're going to see who's being surfaced, and you're going to see why. It's because they've already been working with publishers in these ways. They're part of that 50% that's already been engaging in upper funnel tactics within the affiliate channel. Now let's jump into the playbook. So these are some quick snippets of things that can be done today and ongoing to help with that discoverability and being surfaced. We've chatted about all of these already, honestly, and again, they're already tactics that we're leaning into today. The one piece that's not in there is I wanted to leave this more as like a evergreen cross-channel list is tracking. So for CJ clients, let's take a step back and understand what your integration looks like. A lot of our presentations have talked about how robust our universal tag solution is, and especially as we're including some of these upper funnel tactics into the fold, we'll be able to better measure the impact, especially not just at the channel level or publisher level, but just completely holistically, because we don't have that visibility right now. ChatGPT hasn't released that. Perplexity hasn't released that, Copilot, so on and so forth. So it's really important that we're still thinking about measurement so that we're understanding what's working and what's not working. But I'll let you all take a look at some of these pieces, which again are the tactics that publishers are already bringing to the table, in addition to some of the pieces that brands should be focused on as far as improvements that they should be making to their websites. The good thing is that a lot of these pieces are kind of already being done with SEO. So while the correlation isn't exactly linear, there are a lot of similarities. So your teams are already doing a lot of these things. It's just a matter of ensuring that they're translating accurately and the way that you want them to on these LLM platforms. So some quick next steps for advertisers. I'm going to say this again, you already have this content. Let's audit it. Let's see what you already have in market today. Let's ensure it's accurate, because that is another somewhat of a miss with outdated content or incorrect content. If that's what's being surfaced and it doesn't align with what the consumer is looking for, that's a missed opportunity. So let's ensure that all of the content that's already out there with your affiliates is accurate. Let's audit our integration. If you don't already have the fullest universal tag integration, let's chat about getting that on the roadmap so we can add that visibility to your measurement and understanding, so that we can better gauge the impact of some of these additional content strategies that we're implementing, and then secure some of these content budgets so that, again, we're not taking away from affiliate, because transparently across the network, we're not yet seeing the dip, but Q4 is coming up, and ChatGPT was like a lot dumber at the beginning of the year and a lot smarter today. So we can only expect it to get even smarter by the time shopping season comes around, and we want to make sure that we're ready so that, again, we're not reacting, we're proactively planning for that. And then publishers, let's update media kits that include AI opportunities, especially as where advertisers are eager to make this investment. Let's also chat about ensuring that it's crawlable and accessible to these platforms. As I know some of this content is, being blocked or behind walls, let's make sure that we're being very thoughtful about that investment and its ability to actually be discovered. Let's align with advertiser strategies. So advertisers are doing a lot of this work, you're doing a lot of this work. Let's marry that. Let's ensure that the learnings that you're finding, where you feel like you're showing up as a publisher in really strong ways, are communicated to the advertisers so that they understand your areas of strength and can then we can collaborate on that creation and content inclusion. And then finally, let's prioritize that EAT content so that as of today, that is the formula we've seen gets sources surfaced. So let's ensure that we're tweaking content to align with that LLM preference for scraping. As far as immediate actions for Q4 are concerned, if next week, honestly, you guys can begin having these conversations in preparation, a lot of Q4 is typically already mapped out even weeks before today. So we want to make sure that we're not missing the opportunity because we're already so close. As far as I'm concerned, like Q4 is today. Like time is flying. So let's conduct these visibility assessments, audit the current content like we talked about, audit our integration, and then help us understand current blockers, challenges, questions that you have that you can't answer internally that you need help answering in order to get the justification for this evolved strategy. In the next coming weeks, let's make sure that content is built into that Q4 strategy so that it's not just the CPA increases or the placements on site, but also robust reviews, gift guides, comparisons, so that as individuals are shopping during the holiday season, they have very detailed understanding that is being surfaced and your brand is the one that's being selected over your competitors. And then finally, towards the end, let's refine, let's track what went well as we put all of these things into market. What was actually cited? Which publishers were cited more than others? Which content pieces were cited more than others? Which products specifically did better than others, especially when thinking about your competitors and the market share that they have? And then let's iterate from there. 2026 is a new year, and especially with these agents now in place, I can personally say I've had 3 completely different friends from completely different cities do their back to school shopping with agents. They didn't touch a single website. So as we head towards that future, let's make sure we're using these next couple of weeks to test, learn, so that we can come into 2026 better prepared to just win more market share. And the last thing I'll say about that, again, as things are being figured out, that just presents so much opportunity for the brands that actually take that step to steal market share from their competitors. So be sure that you're the brand that's leading that charge versus waiting to see what your competitors did after they've already stolen market share. So next steps, understand your AI visibility. CJ should be able to help with that in the next coming weeks. We'll be able to provide some guidance on what we're seeing for both advertisers and publishers, but take this back internally and see what your other teams are already working on. This is top of mind for SEO. It's top of mind for SEM. What have they come up with? What are their priorities? Who are they recommending? How does that align with your affiliate program and tactics today? Secondly, partner with product, Universal Tag. And as far as those questions that Universal Tag either isn't answering directly or questions that are coming back from your leadership that you need answers to in order to secure the investment or continue to secure the investment, we have a very robust data science team that can help answer all of these questions, especially if you have the proper integration. And then finally, expand ways of working. So let's not think of affiliate as conversion only. Let's think about it as conversion and awareness so that we're not missing the boat as consumers are shifting their behaviors. I wanted to leave a couple of minutes. This is being recorded to answer, or at least receive your questions. If I'm not able to answer them today, I can follow up with responses, but I did want to hear from you guys how this aligns with the conversations that you're having internally and whether or not there are still questions, which I'm sure they are, that you guys have as you're thinking about all of these things, because I know it's top of mind for all of us. So with that, I'll hand it back. Yeah. Questions, anyone? Comments? No questions? Okay, I have a question. I guess I would love to hear who feels like they are prepared going into Q4 with these changes. Is anyone comfortable sharing anything that they've been able to get approval for and begin implementing to get ahead of the curve?
We're doing lots of stuff. We're just scared. You don't know who's getting paid and how and when. So the tracking piece of it, which relies on the agents to open that up to us, isn't there yet. And so we're doing it on faith that it's the right move for our clients. Not knowing.
Okay, and you are a agency. Okay, and how are you having, so lots of stuff, meaning lots of content investment, lots of CPA increases, lots of all of the above?
So, like you said, doing all the things we already did, but with a specific focus to the So, our content was important to people in the past, is not necessarily the same level as I call it. So, it's opened up for content. So, we're doing that, and we're focusing on a larger area of content. And we're able to report anecdotal data based on citations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some referral traffic we're able to identify, but for the large part, it's all of our feeling.
Yeah.
This is working, but we can't tell you exactly which one, which source, which a lot of symptoms. We don't see that.
That visibility isn't there yet.
It's not, our clients judge us based on the revenue track with the affiliate program, and this is new. So balancing that.
We'll have a couple more things to share about how we're evolving our measurement to help provide some of that visibility. Again, it's all contingent on having universal tag integration so that we can measure how perhaps, your entire digital is growing or not growing, even if we can't attribute that conversion to the affiliate channel itself. So more to come there, but appreciate that as a call out. Yes.
I was just going to mention that I work for a bank and we see a lot of issues with compliance, so trying to prepare for that and trying to work on the content side of things, having a budget for content, but then working with our clients to make sure everything is solid and that there isn't any
Issues. Yeah, hallucinations, my worst nightmare. And that's actually why these audits are so critical, and our compliance team is set up to help support that. So we're already crawling regularly to ensure financial product accuracy anyway, and this content creation would just be a part of that.
There's tracking tools like Profound. I know that's mainly used for SEO, and that tool also help with marketing and affiliate. As well.
Will Profound help? I'm supposed to repeat the question, and I did not repeat it for anyone else. I just remembered. Will Profound help with tracking with an affiliate? Right now, it is primarily an SEO tool. We're in conversations with Profound, and it is not our understanding that they will be able to provide any improvement as far as tracking with an affiliate is concerned, only that sort of visibility assessment. And again, I think based on some of the conversations that CJ's having, we will be able to provide some of that guidance to publishers and advertisers alike. So more to come on that. But does your compliance concern and question feel answered?
It's more of an internal issue
Yeah.
than like a tracking issue.
Yeah. Okay. I'd love to follow up to see how we might be able to put justification together to help your internal risk teams, get on board with the content expansion.
Especially because I've seen a lot of new publishers that have LLMs on their site.
Yeah.
If compliance will improve that.
Okay. That is a good question.
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, thanks. Some publishers are building in LLM experiences directly on site to keep users within their ecosystem and not navigating out towards GPT. And there's fear that the compliance team will not approve those kinds of publishers. And that's where, the accuracy in the first place is very important. For publishers that are building those out, there are rules that their models are following in order to pull information. So if we have knowledge maps in place, schema markup in place that is all accurate, then there should not be any issue with hallucinations or anything of the sort, because everything that the model needs is there. And again, our compliance can help ensure that that's present.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out, since everyone here probably loves AI, you can get a free year of Perplexity Pro if you link your PayPal.
Oh, shout out. Shout out from PayPal. You can get a free year of Perplexity Pro if you link your PayPal account. Thank you for that, Marnie. We'll be doing that. Yeah. I know we're way over, but if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer them on the side or follow up after the fact. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate it.